Hello, it's Crafty Ria, and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to make a set of 4 spring note cards using some of this beautiful Echo Park paper collection, and this is from Celebrate Spring and Celebrate Easter and Celebrate Spring. And this paper doesn't look very Eastery, so I went ahead and used that. And these are some cut-aparts. I also had the Hello Spring collection, so some of the cut-aparts may have been from that, like this one is from Hello Spring. So I have these 4 6x6 sheets of paper, and I also have 4 cut-aparts. And I picked them out to match, but of course I can never decide which side of the pattern paper to use, so we're going to use both. And Crichton, the African Gray, is very excited about that, if you can hear him in the background. I also picked out some embellishments. I just went through my stash and grabbed some springtime type embellishments, so I don't know which ones I'm going to use yet, but I have them handy and over to the side. I have a roll of washi tape. I think this is from the Dollar Tree. I think I got it in Happy Mail. I don't remember. I've had it a long time. And I have a blast from the past, some scalloped scissors, and I have my bling box because a girl needs her bling, as you know. That's my favorite embellishment. And then for the card bases and the mats, I'm using 2 sheets of 8.5 by 11 paper, and I just scored them down the middle at 4 1/4. I don't know if you can see my score line on there, but I went ahead and did that off camera since I have my big scoring board set up on another table and it's just real easy to use. So I scored it on this side of the paper, and I'm just going to flip it over and fold it so the bump is in the middle. It gives you a really nice flat fold that way because of the way it pushes the fibers of the paper out of the way. So we have our 2 long pieces, but I want to make 4 card bases out of this. Get my handy dandy We Are Memory Keepers little paper cutter, and I am going to trim these at 5 1/2. And then I have 2 pink card bases and 2 blue card bases. So I'm going to make those peekaboo cards, or whatever you want to call them, that I've made before. So what I need to do is trim the front of this off at about 1 inch, and that'll give me a piece left over that is 3 1/4 inches. These measure 3 inches wide, so that'll give me 1/4 inch extra for matting them. So I'm going to line the fold up on the 1 inch mark. It's hard to see on camera, but that gives you a 1 inch little flap. And then we have this piece left over for a mat. So I'll put my card bases there and my mats there, and I will do all 4 of these. We're mass producing 4 note cards today. You can use 1 sheet of 12 by 12 paper, or if you belong to my Patreon, you would have gotten 6 by 6 sheets of this paper in either the March or the April. I mean the February or the March kits. April's kit, I did it today. I'm filming this early April. And It is so awesome. I had so much fun putting April's kit together. I will put the link to my Patreon page down below. So if you are one of my Patreon members and are watching this, you'll have a lot of these goodies. You would have gotten some of these cut aparts and this exact paper in your kits. So now we can put that to good use. All right, so I have 4 trimmed up card bases and 4 leftover pieces of matching cardstock. So let's go ahead and get started. I want to plan how I want to do this since I have these and I don't want to get them mixed up. I have decided that this one needs to be on blue, and I think it's going to need a blue mat because it really doesn't have a lot of pink on the front. And I think this one will also go on blue. And since birds are chirping, I think this one's going to need a pink mat because this already has a blue edge. I may not mat this one, but we'll have a pink mat with that just in case. And these 2 will be matted on pink. I'll mat this one with pink, I think. Well, that rhymed. And I want to make sure this piece of paper is going to be long enough on the back because it is not a 6x6. This piece will not be long enough. Let me go back to my paper drawer and see what I'm going to use. Okay, I went in my stash and I had a full 12x12 sheet, but I cut a piece that measures 5.5 by 4, which is the perfect size for this because I really like the tulips on the other side since this has the tulips on it. So that's why I chose that paper. And I will be matting that on this blue since the blue matches the thing. What am I saying? The flower pot. Okay, so I have my cards and my card bases chosen. And I will set these aside. So if you're doing this from a 12x12 sheet of paper, you don't have to cut your paper to 6x6. You can cut it to 4 inches by 5.5. And you can get a lot more of these little sheets from a 12x12 sheet of paper. So you've probably seen me do this card base before. And I have that with this, and I'm going to mat it on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by putting some glue along here. Adhesive, rather. I don't want the adhesive to go close to the spine since this isn't going to go all the way to the spine. I'm going to line this up along the edge here and then fold that over. Now I did cut this a little bit big, as you can see, so I'm just going to trim this one down. And then I'm going to line this up on here and see if I want to keep it that big or if I want to trim it down. I could keep it that big because this is a different color cardstock and it'll overlap this a little bit. But before I put that on there, I want to use this washi tape. I think that looks really good with those dots. And I want to run this down the edge. Now, I'm just going to give this a tear. This is Dollar Tree washi tape, and it doesn't always stick the best. So I'm just going to put one line of adhesive down the card. And that'll help the washi tape to stick. I'm going to do it the other way, this way, because of the where that white border is. And then I'm just going to trim this flush with the end of the card. I'm using my titanium scissors since they don't get gummed up from adhesive. Jonah donated one of his hairs to the project. And then I will adhere this to the mat. And I'm leaving this and the mat full size since it's going to overlap onto that pink a little, and I think that'll be pretty. And I will go ahead and trim this. Just eyeballing it, trying to make sure it's even on all sides. And I think I will bring that right over to the edge of the washi tape like that. I'm not going to adhere it down until I do all of the embellishments because I may want to move this in a different spot. But anyway, that card I will set aside and work on the next card base. Kind of do these in a assembly line fashion. So I need to trim this piece down, and I'll do it the same as I did the other. I need it to be 4 inches wide by 5.5. And of course, if you're using your 12 by 12 paper, you won't have much waste left over. And I will adhere this to the front just like I did the other one. And because this is going to be pink on pink, I do want to trim this down a little bit. I'm going to trim off the edges here to make this a little skinnier. And you still get enough of the pattern on the edge. And then I will mat it on the pink and then trim it down. I want just a tiny mat around it because I don't want it to run into the pink side of the card. And I will trim the other 2 sides just by eyeballing them. Excellent. So I just have that with a tiny border around it, just so it pops up off the paper a little bit. Now, I have this washi tape, which looks great, but I also have this trim that matches this. So I think I might use that on here. This is one of the sticker sheets from the Hello Spring collection. And I think I'm going to use that on this pink background, just to dress that up a little bit. And again, I will trim it with my scissors. These stickers are thick chipboard stickers. They're really nice stickers. They come in those collection packs that I'm a little bit addicted to from Echo Park. So that's our embellishment down that side, and then we'll have this. And I will set that aside. I'm not going to attach anything yet. And then we have this one on that will be on this blue paper, and I thought this yellow looked really good, and I may not mat it on the blue because I'm not going to have a lot of room, and I don't have a lot of room to trim this down. So let me see first how it looks. I do have to trim the Hello Spring off of there. And I will trim the top since it has a little bit of color on it from the cut apart that was next to it. I'll go ahead and trim this to 4 inches. By 5.5. Now I can always make this piece smaller if I want more room for matting. But I think I might just leave that alone. Let me think about this for a second. I think I will trim this down, but I want to put the washi tape on it closer to the edge and then determine how far I want to trim, or close to the fold. So I'm going to run one piece of tape down there. And I will put this pretty close to the fold. And I will trim this washi tape. Let me know if you've noticed the Dollar Tree washi tapes not sticking so well. They probably do okay on paper, but not much else. Unless maybe they've improved. It's been a long time since I purchased any. I'm just going to eyeball this. There we go. And then I just have that smaller piece. I will put some adhesive on this. Being careful not to get too close to the spine on the inside. Making sure my paper is facing the right direction. And I will fold that over. And then I do have room to mat this on the blue. I'm going to trim it down just a little bit on this edge. And on this edge, just so I have a little more room to mat it. That'll look more finished when I'm done. And then that'll go on there. I like that. I think that came out good. Okay, and then one more base to set up. This one I'm going to do a little bit different because this has the scalloped edge. I thought I would trim this paper with the scalloped scissors. So I want to make sure my scallop is going in the right direction, and I want to carefully line up my scissors and cut down the edge. And then I'm going to line it up with my last cut. And I'm trying to eyeball to have my scissor actually even with the edge of the paper. This edge of my scissor. And I may not have been so perfect, but there we have it. And we will have that edge along there. So let me go ahead and trim this. And what's really cute is the back of this has scallops on it too. So that brings it all together. There we go. I like it. So when you're doing your cards, a whole bunch of cards the same way, you can do this assembly line fashion. I think it's easier than planning out one at a time. And you can make a whole stack of these using the same papers and just different sentiments on it. I'm going to put, I think, just a tiny bit of a pink border. Let me see how that looks. Yeah, I think it is just what it needs, but it's going to have to be a really small border. And this way you're not wasting really any of your card base because the piece you cut off you're using as your mat. And you're not wasting the back of these pretty papers, these double-sided papers, because then you still have the back, which I think is awesome. So then you have that. And I think I will use this other piece of this along here. And Michelle gave me the idea for using the scissors, the decorative scissors, and then also these dies. The only problem is these dies that I have are not long enough. I need ones that are 5.5 inches long. And then we have that on there, which I think is really cute. And I might put that on there so I can see the birds on the top and on the bottom. All right, so let's go ahead and embellish these now and decide where we want to put these. I think I will position this to get the most out of that background paper. You can make them flat, or you can even put these up on foam dots. I'll make them flat because I have embellishments that will be a little bit bumpy. And I will get out my embellishments. These birds are all going to be too big. I don't think, oh no, there might be room right there for this bird. It will cover up that bird. I will put that there. Have this yellow flower embellishment that I will put up at the top to kind of balance it. There we go. That card is done. Now we have this card. I won't be using birds on it. I have these flowers that I think are really cool. And my bling box. I've graduated. Remember in the beginning I had a little tiny Ipsy box for my bling, or I mean birch box, and then I bought that bigger bling box. Well, now I have this monstrosity for bling. I'm going to get out some yellow, pink, and blue. Let me see. I thought I would use some gold for that sun, right? Make it round in there. And then maybe one of these flowers down towards the bottom. So I will go ahead and adhere this down up towards the top there. All right, I am back. I don't know when my camera cut out. I hope it wasn't too long. I went ahead and adhered this down, and I put some bling on that sun. And I think I will put one of these flowers down at the bottom. I love this one. And I know that's kind of big, but you can still tell that that says days. Okay, so that one is done. And then we have the live in the moment. And I will adhere this down because I think I will put a flower embellishment down in the corner, similar to the other one. I think I'll use one of these. They're so pretty. I like this one here. I think it kind of goes well with those flowers down there. And I think I will put some pink bling on here. I will just put a line of pink bling right down here. And I will put a piece of bling on all four corners of this. There we go. I really like that. And then we have this one where I will have the background overlapping right onto that pink. And I think that flower looks really good down at the bottom there. Okay, that's what I will do. These are self-adhesive, but they don't feel very, very sticky. So I'm going to add a few drops of Elmer's glue to the back, just to help it along. If it felt really sticky, I wouldn't have felt the need to do that, but it does not feel very, very sticky. I have some blue bling, and I think I will add a piece to the flower pot. And I will add one of the bigger blue ones to the center of that flower. And it is foam, so I'm just going to push that down in there real good. There we go. I like it. I think that came out really cute. So there we go. We have 4 cards. Done up in the same style. So we have this one with that on the inside. Very cute, because of course you need sunshine in order to plant your garden. So that's really cool. This one with the birds are chirping, and the background paper has birds. This has all of these good colors that match. And then we have that on the inside. This one here, we have that matching that, which I like. Pretty bling, of course. And that on the inside. And then this one here with this flower. And then the tulips that match, sort of match those tulips on the inside. I hope you enjoyed these 4 quick and easy note cards. I'm not going to put a sentiment on the inside, because then you can write whatever you like. You can add happy birthday or happy spring, or write a letter inside. So that way it is totally flexible about what goes on the inside of these cards. If you haven't yet joined my Facebook group, Create with Crafty Rhea, please head on over there. The ladies there are awesome. We toss ideas around back and forth, and it's just a great crafty family. If you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, please do click on the subscribe button down there. I would love it if you did. And click on the bell so you're notified when I upload new videos. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate each and every one of you. And until the next video, you know what to do. Go get crafting. Bye-bye.